Hi, I'm Carla Nelson. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to talk about practicing loving kindness to yourself. I talked about practicing loving kindness to others in my last video, and I think this is the most important thing we can do, just to be loving and kind to ourselves. In fact, I think loving kindness and self-love are the same when it applies to us. And I think self-love is the most important thing we can learn in this life. I really mean that. I have taught self-love for years because I continue to keep trying to learn to practice self-love better, to be more loving to myself, to be more kind to myself. And as I do that, my happiness increases dramatically. I am much more loving and much more kind to myself now than I was when I was younger. At 73, I have learned to be more patient with myself and to cut myself more slack, if you will, on pretty much everything. I want to talk about why I think self-love is so important. I really believe it's what we're all here to learn. I think that it's the highest love possible, and I think that we can never love anybody else, really, any more than we love ourselves. So the more I'm able to love Carla better, the more I'm able to love everybody else better. And because that's such an important thing to learn, I think it's probably the hardest thing all of us have to learn. It's been extremely difficult for me. It continues to be difficult for me at times to practice self-love. But think about all the ways that we don't. Think about all the self-criticism that we give ourselves. Think about all the things we focus on, focusing on the things we do wrong far more than on the things we do right. We don't give ourselves time to rest. We don't eat right. We don't get the exercise we need. Think about all the ways that you could be practicing self-love now. I think the more that we do this, the more that we show ourselves that we love ourselves, the more we are able to change the patterns that we don't like in ourselves. It's amazing. If I am telling myself positive things, then when I want to change something about myself that isn't so positive, and believe me, I do have things about myself that I continue to change that aren't positive, it's much easier for me to do that. I want to invite all of you to think about practicing self-love. It'll make a real difference in your life. It'll make a difference in the lives of everybody around you, actually. Because the more you practice self-love, the more patient you're going to be, the more time actually that you will be able to give to others. It's amazing how that works. One final thing I want to say, and that is, you know, the world treats us exactly the same way we treat ourselves. So if I put everybody else first, if I don't think I'm important enough to take time for myself every day, rather I need to take my child to every game he wants to go to, when actually what I really need is a couple of hours to myself. What I am teaching my child, what I am telling the world, is that what they want is more important than what I need. And so I want to stress, really stress the importance of practicing loving kindness to yourself, making that a priority, and I guarantee you will have more loving kindness for everybody else. Thank you so much for being with me today.